10 seconds remaining. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
I am Shadow Shaman.
Ladies and gentlemen, and well, we've got Game 3 coming up here. It was a long wait, but it was worth it. Team Empire versus Next.kz. Gods, what's the good word coming into this game?
Empire pretty good at Dota.
They are on fire right now.
Next.kz have been, I mean, historically they're a roller coaster team. They'll go through periods where they actually look like they can beat, like they've taken games off Na'Vi in the past, they've beaten most of the top European teams when they're in form, but they're currently down at the bottom of that big fall. And
yeah, they have not been looking as good. And actually, if we take a look at the grid, I believe next list, yeah, 3 and 5.
3 wins is more than I thought they had at least. I mean, they've had some very shaky-looking games, so they've managed to scrape a win or two here and there at least. But they've got some great talent in today. That's what always gets me about this team. Like, Waterfucker in the mid lane is one of the top mid players. Mantis used to play mid for this team a long while back, and he was actually, I think it was a 1-to-1 tournament with some of the European players. I think Mantis either got first or second in it. So,
Five seconds remaining.
Here, a few names that are actually recognized in the draft. So.
That you do or don't? Right?
I don't.
You don't? Yeah.
Equal's back. Equal has not been playing with them for a while, but he's like one of their old school players, and they've got 2 names. Zeppin and S. I don't know.
Well, we can go ahead and take a look at the draft here, and whoops, that's Stag. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I'm not sure who these... They're tagged up as Next.kz players, so...
Yeah, and that's what's interesting here. And the StarLadder got... trying to make it easy on us, where they've been continually updating the database as team rosters change. And the 2 that are kind of standouts here, Reeves and Amazing, are what are on the official roster. And here we have SC47 and a symbol, I don't know. It's a Russian name.
That is also known as StarLadder. So that is a normal player from
StarLadder is the Drumu guy?
Yes.
Oh.
Well, according to his Steam profile, yes.
Oh, SC is StarLadder. I had no idea.
It all makes sense now.
It all makes sense. The other day, I think when I was discussing with LD, we were like, who is this Drumu guy? Like, I've never heard of any Drumu players, or... MMMU. I'm not sure how you...
It was the Dormammu or whatever. It's apparently like from a Street Fighter game or something.
Oh,
I had
okay.
PPD those... So.
Yeah, well...
I felt a little bad, but then I was like, I don't really play many video games apart from Dota.
Yeah, I'm kind of in that... But Dota... I've got on my repertoire.
Who is this other guy? Zeppin should be Reeves. I'm not sure if it is Reeves, though. Yeah, apparently...
Reeves, so nothing too crazy. It's amazing in this stead, or StarLadder.
Amazing is Reeves' alternative name.
According to the StarLadder, Amazing and Reeves are different people.
Okay,
so, I don't know. Things are a little screwy here, but we have a general idea. It's StarLadder and Reeves are the two guys with funky names. Yeah. So at least people that we recognize.
10 seconds remaining.
Lycan Dazzle picked up by Team Empire. Nothing too surprising about that. But Centaur and Shadow Shaman first picked by Next.kz. The Shadow Shaman not as surprising, but Centaur, wowza.
Teams are liking this Centaur pick. He's a good solo offlane. You can put him in a tri-lane in the offlane. He can be nice and aggressive. And Prophet the Enchantress, they're going to be looking to bring down a lot of towers early, and having a Centaur, a big, bulky frontliner who can look for it to initiate with the stuns, has a Stampede to help you escape and cover your tracks. I'm kind of liking where Next.kz have gone with this draft. At the same time, though, Empire with Lycan. Lycan has been getting almost banned out every single game. Yep. They get their hands on it. They get two of their preferred supports in Dazzle and Visage. For mid lane, for resolution.
Yeah, this is just, it's a scary Empire draft. These are heroes that they like.
Yes, and you look at those three squishies on Next.kz side, that's going to be Puck's food this game. If he can get a fast level 10 Blink Dagger up, and his combo will just instantly destroy some of these heroes.
10 seconds remaining.
Time I see Shadow Shaman now, and maybe I've just spent too much time talking to K-pop Tosis, but the win rate of Radiant versus Dire is so different on that hero. On Radiant, it's something like
Reserve time.
Yeah, and on Dire, it's somewhere more like 65%.
It's crazy.
It's, of course, because of Roshan, Dire has the advantage. The Rox awards on that side just make Rosh so easy, but that statistic alone just...
Dire team done.
Current patch, Radiant's like a 51-52% favorite.
Yes, I believe that's correct. So it's just interesting how, like, according to K-pop, like, if you're on Dire material, if that's a strategy you want to go for, and if you're on Radiant, Shadow Shaman is probably first ban worthy.
I think it depends a bit on the style.
5 seconds. 5 seconds.
Well, it was actually the Chinese teams who are prioritizing it more, and they generally play a more objective-based game where they get ahead, they take Roshan, etc., etc. So that's where being on the Dire side, using Roshan to your advantage, we're seeing a lot of Shadow Shamans there. Yeah. The Western teams are picking more Shadow Shaman as of late, but generally they're the ones going for a lot of this stuff. Over with the Eastern teams in China as much, and we're seeing Dazzle actually win a lot of games.
Yeah, and like you said, out of Dazzle, that is Vanscore's hero, and he plays a pretty mean Dazzle as well. We mentioned earlier, they're 7-0 on this patch with Dazzle in competitive games.
Radiant team pick.
A lot of love, and I think for good reason. Of course, he's one of my favorites, but I think he's just strong in this patch. He's been one of those heroes that's been steadily getting small nerfs over the past, or pardon me, small buffs over the past few patches, and now he's just in a good state. He's got stun on that poison touch. A lot of people forget that it actually interrupts on the initial, when you first hit the poison.
10 seconds.
Or it will actually have that additional stun afterwards. So just a hero with a lot of all-around utility.
5 seconds remaining.
The last picks now. Empire need an offlaner, something from Mag most likely. Meanwhile, Next.kz, they're looking for their carry of choice. Something to go with the Shadow Shaman in the safe lane. And kind of early-ish, because they're going for a fairly heavy pushing lamp. They want something that can actually take clashes, take some battles, maybe even like along the lines of a Luna, not too bad, but...
Dire team
didn't have a mid hero.
Yeah, I mean, Shadow Shaman could theoretically go mid, but definitely not.
But they have Prophet and Centaur, who both are offlaners, but one of those is going to be safe lane. Mm-hmm. Which may be the Centaur this game?
This is, I think it'll probably be a Shadow Shaman Centaur safe. Prophet off lane, and then the Shadow Fiend mid, but this is sort of a risky draft from Next.kz here. They're in that position where they'll have the timer. They need to push. They need to make plays happen, and they need to do crippling damage before this Lycan really comes online. And I worry about their team fight power. They have like some crowd control with the hoof stomp, with the shackle, and whatever creep enchantress can ring to the fray, whether it's a centaur or a hellbear smasher. But roll over them in team fights, and whoa, the Brewmaster.
That's a cool little hero. That's actually going mid. They're putting the puck into Mag's hand, so maybe look at an off-lane puck.
It looks like.
Or do they switch up the lanes here? Because Brewmaster not the. It's not too terrible. You bottle crow, you get, you have the bit of evasion there. You have a nuke you can spam, so you can actually kind of trade hits, like walk up to the SF and just start right-clicking him a bit at the early levels before SF starts hitting too hard. So.
Yeah.
Not a terrible matchup for Brewmaster mid.
No, not the worst. Brewmaster in general, I think, is a pretty underrated hero as well. He is surprisingly potent, and he gets picked off very infrequently. Drunken Brawler that is one hell of a 10% dodge, 10% chance for a 200% crit. That is like that is a value point if I've ever seen one. But yeah, he's just an all-around. Even just like the Thunderclap is a good utility spell, and the mischance on what's that ability called? The Drunken Haze, and 45% mischance is pretty significant. So not a hero that's particularly easy to lane against, and he really can get out of control, especially if he gets an Ag Scepter up in a relatively quickly manner. Yep. He's a hero to tango with.
Because you want to do with these lanes, I'll introduce them. We're going to see Stalcat on the Centaur. He's heading up top here with Boots, Tangos. Want to see if he's joined by any support. It looks like Equal on the Enchantress is going to be heading up there. We've got Mantis playing the Nature's Prophet. We've got SF in the hands of Whatafaka. And then finally, in the safe lane is going to be Reeves. This is Reeves?
Yes. The Russian name is Reeves, and Stalcat is the SC with a couple of number 47.
Gotcha.
Yeah, at least based on our little bit of detective work here before the game started. We've got Team Empire on the dire side, the heavy favorites coming into this match. The team that has been on fire not only in StarLadder, but many other tournaments recently, and they might get a little bounty. There you go. So 16 gold going the way of Dazzle to get things started. Mag will be playing on the off-lane puck. There will be Vincere on his, I would call it a signature Dazzle now at this point. He's been playing him quite a bit. Always want to fly, supporting on the Visage, but could be in some trouble up top. Will take an enchant to get things started. Hoof Stomp from Stalcat. Will they have enough damage to finish him off?
It's got the boots if he wants to chase this. I think he's going to keep on going. Lycan with a body block. And if he doesn't see the Lycan there, he maybe keeps chasing because of the no boots on the Visage.
It's Blood. Lycan, the man of the hour, keeping his Visage alive, will be silent in that one position. And of course, it will be Resolution solo mid on the Brewmaster.
Alrighty, so yeah, Mantis safe lane solo. We'll have to see what Next.kz did look to do with their supports. Enchantress obviously going to roam around, but it's going to start in the offensive jungle. Vincere will scout this out pretty quickly. Probably wants to look to block this big cat, maybe. No, not going to do so. Just going to chase on through. Tangles his way in, actually. Gets a poison touch off. Wants to chase down Equal here. The slow kicks in Equal, taking quite a bit of damage. Does find himself a Satium Mind Stealer, so we'll start throwing out some mana burns here.
Yeah, still not the ideal creep, and Equal actually taking a lot of damage. There could be a rotation from Resolution here, and this is an easy first blood coming out. I'm not so sure about that choice to start in the dire jungle there, Equal. That will... hard.
Absolutely. I think we'll get maybe one more mana burn off. Yeah, okay. Vincire's more or less out of mana.
Cheeky plays here with the trees, but it's okay. Vincere was the one that got the first blood, so he's got plenty of gold to play with. He'll be happy to trade a trip back to the well for...
He's number one on net worth. Yeah. Well, not anymore. He was for half a second. His one moment in the spotlight. Number one net worth after getting first blood and a treant.
Yep.
He was
off to the races here this game.
He's getting in the spotlight and see what it'll get for him, though.
Good news for Empire. I see what Equal was going for, hoping to get a nice aggressive creep, and ganking the dire mid is a little bit easier if you can come up from this high ground and just come straight down into the lane. So I see what he was going for to put some early pressure on Resolution, but Empire were just prepared for it. The fact that he got scouted out right away by Dazzle was kind of a sign that probably wasn't going to go the way that he was hoping.
Yeah. Creeps mid, maybe. We'll have to see where Equal looks to do here. Just back in his own jungle, but his creeps are going to go scout out this 2-minute rune and just prevent Mag maybe from getting it as well as the solo mid Brewmaster. And it is going to be a 2-minute invis rune at bottom. Gets denied. They sent both. Oh, he's actually going to go for a gank on bottom lane now. See if this works.
And the two supports up top. Looks like they wanted to rotate mid, but yeah, we'll check out bottom lane as Mag could be in some trouble here. He does have 2 points in the illusory orb, does have a phase shift, will just orb into the trees and hop to it. So Mag just a little bit too quick on his feet, and this first gank from Equal will be unsuccessful.
Yeah, he's almost in XP range. He could almost tango one of these trees, get a bit closer and try and get some experience out of this creep wave, but...
I'll actually do just that. He just poke a little bit closer. I think he's still just a bit out of experience range, but the right idea from Mag. The important thing is that he does survive the initial gank.
Yeah.
And this is just a good lane for Puck in general. Off lane against the solo safe lane Nature's Prophet. It's just about ideal. I mean, he should be able to farm pretty well Nature's Prophet, not too scary. It's more just the Enchantress rotating over, but...
It's a bit annoying because he just right-clicks him with the tree in, so kind of zones Puck away a little bit, but he also has the benefit of having the Howl damage. The Howl just being used by Lycan. Going for the 1-1-1 build, we normally see like a 7-1-1-1 build. Like you get 1 point in each of your 2 other skills, you get maxed out your wolves, you get your point in your ulti. And just that 1 point in Howl helps out all 3 of your lane.
You commits into another lane, it can sometimes be the difference between a turnaround, maybe a 1-for-1, which would normally be a 1-for-0. So one of those abilities, just such a low mana cost as well. It's one of those, just use it, just spam it up and help out all those other lanes. So Lycan is farming quite well up here in the top. He is 18-5 compared to the 14-3 Centaur, so StarLadder struggling just a little bit. Again, he did open boots first and now has that first Ring of Regen sitting in the inventory. How's this mid lane going? It is going the way of What a Fuck to get things started, sort of as we predicted. 21-4 versus the 14-4 Resolution. No big surprise there, but Brewmaster is holding his own, and it looks like he could potentially be in some trouble as StarLadder has rotated down. Stomp 2 points in the double edge.
He sees him though. He can just keep running upriver here.
Yeah, this is kind of an...
Well, gets Tranquil Boots, but even with that boost in movement speed, Resolution will be okay.
That was sort of just unfortunate timing for StarLadder. Right as he came down, Brew was already heading up top to try and check out the rune.
Well, he saw him with the Observer Wood running that way, so he could have... He just needs to time it differently, or...
Yeah,
I'm not sure exactly what else could have been done there. It's just hard to get that kill. They haven't got a good initiation apart... Wolfstorm's not a good lead spell because of how close range he is and also the cast time.
What's your thought on the Naked Greevel gods? Do you share the distaste for that courier as everyone else does?
It's pretty icky.
I love it. He's so cute. Here's the courier I use, Naked Greevel.
What's it being renamed? I wonder what this translates to.
That is a good question. I can only imagine.
What's your Naked Greevel called?
I think he's... I'm not sure. I think he's just Naked Greevel, I think, yeah. I've never really looked at his name, to be honest. I'm too busy
you haven't used a name tag or anything on it?
No, he's just standard, classic Naked Greevel.
The only thing I care to use my name tags on is, like, couriers.
Ah, okay. Yeah. I actually haven't gotten a name tag yet. I've been a little unlucky on that front.
You get a free one, man.
You do?
When you open your Valve Presence.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Actually, I do.
There was a name tag in there, as well as a description tag, so you can change the name tag and description of...
Maybe I'll have to name my Naked Greevel. Now you're onto something here, gods. He takes a little bit of harassment from What a Fuck. He connects with a few Shadow Raises, but now he's level 6, so that's when Brew starts to get scary. Not only can he do more damage, but he also has that reset tool a little bit where he can escape.
Top river. Always when a fly gets stunned up.
Situation. Oh, yes, indeed. Double Edge comes out as well, but this Visage just a little bit too tanky with that Gravekeeper's Cloak. Dazzle comes in with the heal, and no kill comes out.
Yep. So after the first blood for Empire, not much has come since then, and it is actually going okay, the laning stage connectivity. They're actually ahead by 300 gold, just farming that a little bit better here. The SF winning mid lane, the Prophet winning bottom lane. So, more or less, 2 lanes have been won by Next.kz. So, this is a good start against a team like Empire, who can be so scary to go up against.
Yeah, they've got a minor lead right now, just about 700 gold, about 500 experience. Nothing too insane, but... what is scary, though, is Lycan is the leader in last hits, as well as net worth right now, and he is a hero that will certainly be a thorn in your side. We will see Brewmaster with an invisibility rune rotate down bottom, and now Mantis could possibly be in some trouble. He does have
be a kill.
He does have phase boots, but Resolution just does a bit too much damage. Puck's level 6, and easy peasy. Dream Coil Orb to finish him off, and Mag will get another kill up on the board.
And importantly, he's not even having to use the Primal Split for that one, so that means he can come back towards his mid lane, still has it available to him either to use defensively or look for a kill in his SF just right-clicking away on these supports. How much damage they just take.
Yeah. Noble effort, but Visage and Dazzle only level 3 right now. Shadow Fiend's level 7. That will not be an easy kill by any means, though. Resolution is now rotated back in. Clear quite yet. If he takes a Soul Assumption as well as a Poison Touch, they might be able to grab a kill, but nope, they will just back off.
Yep. Puck picks up a smoke now, so I think he may be looking to rotate soon. He has used Dream Coil already, so they don't have that available to them, but it's up in about 30-40 seconds. We can go back to lane, wait for a bit, and then actually go for that smoke. He doesn't have to look to use it right away, and even if he smokes soonish, he still does have a long duration. He could actually get somewhere with the Dream Coil.
Tar, he's looking for a fast flank, does have the Tranquil Boots up already. Resolution, thought they may dive him in the mid, but nope, Shadow Fiend just harassing him back once more. But yeah, Stallcat, he's about 2/3 of the way to that Blink Dagger, so he's in pretty good shape on that front. Brew still very far off the mark. I imagine he'll be wanting to grab a Blink first, but yeah, not even close. How's Puck doing on his quest to get a Blink Dagger? Oh, not too great either.
Great, yeah.
Yeah,
got that one kill, but offlane Puck's not the easiest, and this matchup against Prophet is really tricky because Mantis, once he gets the phase boots up his base damage, he's got 24 denies with 49 last hits. He's just crushing the last hit battle.
Wow. I mean, Magus 17-1. It's way worse than I thought. I thought it'd be maybe a bit more even than that, but perhaps I'm just underestimating the power of the Treants early on in the lane.
Treants and just the Prophet right-click damage, especially when and then you go for the phase boots. Once you get that up, the lane's all over. Puck does not do well. Puck has to play so far back because he doesn't know when the ganks are coming in as well. We saw Enchantress not even get any kills, but just zone him out, force him to orb himself into the trees, and just give him all sorts of problems.
Yeah. 9 minutes in, only 2 kills on the board. Both sides just happy farming away, getting those core items up. Lycan has now got those scary items, though. A Vlad's and a Medallion already in the inventory. 9 minutes. Looks like he could be rotating over towards the Roche pit.
They're up 2 kills to nothing, but looking at the CS charts, 4 of the top 5 are all Next.kz, and the two solos, SF and Prophet, crushed their lane. SF is almost triple the Brewmaster CS. Prophet is more than double the Puck CS. The CS differential is absolutely massive.
Yeah, and that's where a lot of this gold lead is coming from. About 1,500 in the favor of Next.kz. Not much of an experience edge, but as Lycan moves into the Roche pit, it will be scouted out by the Nature's Prophet, so well done by Mantis right there, making sure they keep Lycan on his toes and they don't hand over a free Roche. I still think that's one of the best ways to deal with a Lycan. Constantly scout out the Roche pit, whether it's a Nature's Prophet or a Clockwork or someone else who can do it pretty easily here. And whoa, Nature's Prophet actually gets picked off in the bottom lane.
Brewmaster was waiting around. I didn't catch the end of that one either, but he was waiting around so long in those trees. Meanwhile, top lane Centaur went in with a Stampede. Gets another kill here. They got his Blink Dagger.
Wrong place. I thought they were going to engage on mid, but it's the other lanes where they all broke out, so yeah, Blink Dagger on Stallcat getting showed off. And also the wards come down up top, so this tower will take some pressure.
He's in, but I'm not sure he can stop this tower going down. Another creep wave comes in here. This tower's as good as dead. Empire are looking for that Roshan trade. They've got Dazzle in there with the Lycan. Anyway, the Radiant team can contest this. They send an Alpha Wolf towards the Roche pit. They know what's going on, but this is just like one of those things. Hey, look, you hit a tower, you give up Roshan. It's probably okay, though. It's still a good trade for Next.kz.
Yeah, especially with Empire on Dire. This is an easy trade. Lycan was hovering around the pit, looking for his opening, and he found it. So even though Empire did concede a couple of deaths there, they will actually end up trading 2 towers for this Roche. And here we go. Shadow Fiend with a Blink Dagger online. 3 out of 3 games today, we've seen Shadow Fiend go Blink. So it appears this build really has made a resurgence. Haste Rune up on Whatafaka as well, looking for an opening onto the Fairy Dragon, but will not find it. Gold lead, but Empire with a 1,500 experience lead. That's the difference between Towers and Roche. Although you do get some gold from both, Roche gives you that huge boost in experience.
Yeah, and well, right now for Next.kz, they've got double Blink Daggers up with Centaur and Shadow Fiend. For Empire, still waiting on your Blink on Brewmaster, about 600-700 away. Puck, a long way away from his Blink Dagger, only 800 gold. So this next 3 to 5 minutes of the game belongs to Next.kz. They need to make something happen. Either get more towers, take a few fights, apply a lot of pressure here, and just keep the heat up, because Empire will struggle to take fights right now, I believe.
Yeah, no, I think you're
no familiars even. This is still just level 5.
Yeah, you're definitely right. They're still waiting for those core things to come online, and with 2 Blink Daggers, Next.kz can just be so aggressive. Centaur can even start things off, and Shadow Fiend can just follow up with an easy blink for some right clicks. And here we go. Stallcat hops forward, hook stomp on the Always Want to Fly, and he will actually use the Stampede here to get away. I'm not sure if that was necessary, but
I think rather safe than sorry, I guess.
Yeah, just unfortunate to see that ultimate used defensively rather than aggressively now during this window of time when
on, like it's a global surge for everyone. For the fight itself.
Yeah, StarLadder off the mark with that hoof stomp, but still zones out the Brute, and they do secure another tower kill, so that will be 3-0 in total tower count now up top. Lycan trying to pressure this tower, but Next.kz will be on point with their defense. What a fuck end Mantis porting up right away, and basically no damage comes out on the tower, not giving Lycan any room for that rat Dota.
Yeah, and Brewmaster's still trying to farm his Blink Dagger at this bottom lane. He's just not having the best time this game. He hasn't even died at all. He's just not bad, but this is just great Blink with food, bottle, and wand.
Yeah, it's kind of insane how much Shadow Fiend is out-farmed him now. Shadow Fiend with 92 last hits, Brew only with 41, more than doubling him, and they were pretty close to even earlier on, so now Shadow Fiend is just off to the races, where Empire still struggling to get those core items up. Once they get Blink on Puck and Brew, their lives will get a lot easier, but until then, they're still stuck in this window of just trying to avoid fights and find farm wherever they can.
Even if they give Empire time to farm those Blink Daggers, they've still got they scale pretty well towards the late game. SF is working on his BKB now. He'll be a pretty scary threat. And you've got heroes like Nature's Prophet who will be a great just rat Dota kind of force here. Not to mention he can scale pretty well with items if he wants to.
Oh, Silence in some trouble in the top lane. StarLadder comes in to initiate, but the turnaround maybe here. Silent will fall. He's got the Aegis, so he'll be coming right back up. Roster wards have already come down. Grave used on the Dazzle himself, but Lycan, he'll get, well, just obliterated in the tower. They've got enough crowd controls to lock him down, and coming out Next.kz, really a double kill if you think about it that way, as they did burn the Aegis and then they took him down once again.
Really nicely played. Next.kz, they're only their second kill of the game, but they are just playing really well right now. They know they don't have to go for these kills. They're getting further and further ahead just by farming better, stacking neutrals, pushing down towers, and they'll just continue to do that. They get another kill on mid lane. Vincere goes down. The Blink Centaur is just causing all sorts of problems for Empire.
Really capitalizing on this edge that we were talking about during this particular time frame. Now a 7,500 gold lead, and they've even taken the experience edge after that Roshan. Only about 500 in their favor, but still showing us that Empire may be in some trouble here.
Empire's on like some insane like 20-25 game win streak right now.
Yep.
And Next.kz are looking like, hey, we want to stop it.
They could upset them here, that's for sure. Puck is very close to the Blink Dagger, though. Just about 150 gold off the mark. Brew has picked his up now as well, very close to level 11. That ultimate becomes a bit more powerful, and also reduces the cooldown, which is pretty huge, as at level 1, 140 seconds is pretty lengthy. Has Lycan done much here? No, looks like he's working towards a Necro Book, does have Staff of Wizardry. But, yeah, nothing too crazy to report. There you go. There's that Blink on Puck, and Centaur will just rotate into a mech. I like this choice.
Yeah, they don't have a good mech buy for their team, and Centaur, with the Arcane Boots on your side, and with Blink Dagger costing no mana, you actually don't have too many mana problems to actually use a mech here, and just that extra bit of tankiness, it's pretty much a better version of a Vanguard in most cases, so this is where Centaur can be really useful in these fights.
And down bottom, it looks like Reeves could be in some trouble here, and oh boy, will he. Mag blinks forward, and Resolution showing off his Blink Dagger as well. They'll grab a pretty easy kill.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
For the 15-minute mark, Resolution, or pardon me, Empire at least adding more to the board. Now Silent, he needs to be a little careful here. What a fuck, and StarLadder both have blinks, and there you go, they'll hop forward, and see you later, Silent. Exactly what I was worried about. Just overstaying his welcome, and he needs to respect the Blink Dagger, man.
Yeah, he thinks, hey, I've got this ulti, max movement speed, I can get out of anything, but not the case when there's a Centaur with a max level hoof stomp. Yeah, keeps him locked down.
And double edge for that matter. Now Mantis could be in some trouble. Resolution does hop inside of the trees as he tries to sprout TP home. Puck blinks forward, and they do secure the kill, so at least a 1-for-1 across the map, but Lycan is that one position, high-value target, and I think Next.kz will be happy to trade their Nature's Prophet for the Lycan, and they also do a little bit of damage to that top tier 2 tower. What a fucka, in some trouble. He will port out the safety. Wow. Oh, such a close call. Great hoof stomp from StarLadder, and he'll just walk away as well. Great teamwork.
Resolution could have got... He needed to go straight into a clap ulti, but he hesitated. When he saw the TP, he's like, oh, I should use my ulti, but by then it's too late. You need like that. You need instantly ulti in anticipation of the TP.
Yeah, because the Brew ultimate has that kind of weird cast time where when the spirits come out, they kind of pop out of their balls and they don't do any damage right away. I don't know if it's really a cast time, but it's build-up time, or whatever the right word is. But more initiation up top. Resolution once again as StarLadder hops forward. There's the teleport forward from Mantis, and see you later, Brewmaster. Next.kz rack up another kill, and they tie it up 5-5.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. I mean, the kills may be tied, but Next.kz have themselves a 7.5k gold lead. They are just controlling the tempo of this game. They're pushing down towers, they're getting all the farm in the world. They're looking really solid right now, and I'm not sure what the game plan is to try to get back in. They need some big team fights. They're going to go in mid lane, the puck there, and no BKB on SF. They're trying to bring down Waterfuck, and it looks like they will. Empire may have punished Next.kz for a big overextension in the mid lane. That was a bit unnecessary and a bit sloppy from Next.kz.
Yeah. Him there, and like up near the tier 2, this is just way too aggressive of a position. Even though they have the momentum in this game, they have the map control, you still can't be that far forward. Just as 2 when you know all 5 of Empire are alive and you don't necessarily have eyes on them. I do like the aggressive wards coming up from Next.kz though, especially up near that tier 2 tower in the mid lane, perhaps giving them the illusion of safety with this ward here. Oh yeah, initiation in the mid lane, hoof stomp on the mag.
Blink.
See you later.
Shadow Shaman comes blinking in as well. That's something we hadn't seen just yet. And
today's the day of blink. There's 5 blink daggers in this game. What is going on here, gods? Is blink dagger the new hand of Midas? Like, is this more blinks equals more wins?
I mean, it's definitely. I mean, these are all good blink heroes to begin with, but yeah,
True.
It's definitely an item which is just very cost effective.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it should be maybe a little more expensive. Even make it like 2.3k or something. I think would be a reasonable balance change, because I think it is a bit too cost-effective of an item.
Yeah, especially on a hero like Centaur now, because you were talking about he can get away with mech because he doesn't have to use a lot of mana, and it's important to not forget that double mech doesn't cost any mana. The health that it takes away from you is sort of the resource, so it synergizes well with Centaur to grab a mech. He just has the mana pool to sustain using it here. There's a big stack for Next.kz. It looks like a triple stack: golems, lizards, and ancients, a little bit of everything, and they will just clear it out as kind of a team effort and get a nice little boost.
SF picks up his BKB now. He didn't have it at the mid lane. He had the gold for it. He was waiting for him on like a base on McCree, unfortunately, but now he's got the BKB next to him. He can go for these pushes because he's kind of their front liner. He'll pop the BKB if he gets in trouble, and then Centaur comes flying in with a stampede, blink stun, etc., etc.
For push, it appears this top tier 1 starts to take some pressure from the Lycan. He does have a Necro Book level 1. The Glyph comes out as he uses the Howl, and the Wolves start doing some chip damage here. And Next.kz getting in a position to defend. They will have a smoke to come forward. Silent will be that target of choice. They do a fair bit of damage to him. Rocket towards to come down. And Mag will be the one to get the grave. Silent won't survive, nor will the Shadow Shaman. It is a 1-for-1. Tier 1 tower falls. And it was actually destroyed by the Visage, not denied, but it also cost them their Dazzle. Now, oh boy, Natus will get cleaned up.
Yeah, Visage was trapped in the Sprout with him, so he managed to get himself trapped in, unfortunately, inside the Sprout of his own, as well as with the Familiars. But we're going to look at a 3-for-2 trade.
And the tower, so a pretty chaotic exchange and really a wash, I think. 3-for-2, but the tower on the side of the 3 deaths.
Yep. Like, you have to use a BKB on your Shadow Fiends. Like, both teams have to use a lot of spells there. I think for Next.kz, an even trade's an okay-ish trade, just because they're going to turn this around, get a tier 2 tower, and this is almost a part of that trade. Tier 2 for a tier 1, not to mention the kill. So this is kind of tied into that same fight.
And now goes the way of Next.kz. It'll give them a big gold boost at least following.
And Empire lose key heroes, the Lycan being the main one there. Meanwhile, Next.kz, they keep their SF alive, they keep their Centaur alive. They lose a Nature's Prophet, but at this point, Nature's Prophet's a bit expendable.
Yeah.
Puck will get a counter kill on Enchantress.
Enchantress just hangs around a bit too long and ends up being an easy kill. So now, again, if you consider that, still in favor of Next.kz getting a tier 2 tower, but once again, leveling out that exchange a bit more and making it closer to a break even at least. Now, Mantis will pop down to the bottom lane. Evolution comes down, he will blink forward, does not have an ult available, so Mantis can just port back to safety. Meanwhile, in the mid, StarLadder will blink back, perhaps looking to get aggressive, but Visage scouts him out on the high ground and does harbor any aggression that would have come his way.
StarLadder's up to like 2k gold suddenly. He's getting money from all over the place.
Looking at the network chart, things are just a bit scary for Empire. They've got Lycan farming reasonably well, but Nature's Prophet
bottom lane.
And the Shadow Fiend farming very well. And, oh yeah, there you go. Brewmaster, he'll get picked off. And
Okay, so Weave comes out. This is going to make Natus pretty squishy. He's got no Sprout. The Stampede going to keep him alive, though. I almost prefer the Stampede unit defensively, but also offensively at the same time. Centaur's got in Reclama Souls as well. Vincire's going to go down to the Necrobook, it looks like. Meanwhile, SF on the front lines trying to bring down the Dazzle here. The Razors go flying. Lycan, his ulti wears off. SF will take a fall, but looks like Lycan will be the casualty for Team Empire here. So the SF, the 3 heroes, possibly even 4 if Fanscore's not careful.
Yeah, they'll get a counter kill onto the Nature's Prophet as well. Looks like it came out from the Familiars, yeah. So 2 for 3, but again, it's a difference of Shadow Fiend and... well,
that mech comes awfully late. I maybe had no mana or just was on cooldown, but popping it now is Stalcat.
Yeah, again though, Next.kz find a good exchange. A 2 for 3, they kill Lycan and Brew, those 2 high-value targets, but Lycan actually secures the deny on the tower with the Wolves. Very nicely done. Though. Yeah, 12 kills apiece. They're always they're getting these even fights, but they'll still get the tower out of it. Then top lane, when they lose a tower, they get a counter tier 2. So I think for Next.kz, for the most part, these fights are going pretty well in their favor. Stalcat picks up a Mystic Staff. He'll be building towards a Shiver's Garden. That'll just make himself a bit tanky with the extra armor, not to mention negate some of the damage coming out from a Lycan, the Primal Split Warriors, whatever it may be. And help out that mana pool, which we saw was kind of an issue there. Yeah. At least I think. I have a feeling that's why he didn't use the mech, because he was forced to Stampede very early on. And, yeah, I think it was more of a mana issue than anything else.
Well, look at things here. I'm not sure how much it is a sneak. A Stalcat on the high ground.
Yeah, Lycan's going to walk right by him. Stalcat does have an invisibility rune on right now. And I think Next.kz can contest this, as they well should.
They need to get hit soon, and they're going to arrive in time, it looks like. Cool. Maybe not.
Or will they? I mean, Centaur might be able to hop in. Blink, stop. No, he won't go for it. Roshan is uncontested, and Aegis goes the way of the Lycan. But now the fight will break out. Stalcat connects to the floor on the hook stop. Out comes the Ross Awards, and this is going to be huge. They'll drop Brewmaster to get things started off, and Stalcat will survive. Puck also falls. Now Empire in full retreat mode. Silence still with the Aegis online. He will burn the shapeshift, and it's going to expire before too long here. What a fucking maybe overextending. Comes back down to the low ground, takes a poison touch, and now Lycan should be able to secure this kill. Mantis getting low as well. Maybe Empire still have a chance, but no, the Rost Awards come out. Lycan will come back up. He won't have shapeshift. And I think Lycan is slated to fall
he didn't respawn in the Sprout. The Necrobook Warrior prevented it. He's still going to die regardless, but that Sprout... there, but the Necro Warrior blocked him spawning in the Sprout, but hey, they get the kill.
Yeah, that's what
4
matters.
for 2? Did they buy back the Prophet even?
No, Prophet, no buybacks. Nobody fell except the Shadow Fiend.
Okay, well, 4 for 1 then. That's fantastic.
Yeah, and the Aegis, so really kind of a 1 for 4.5, I guess you could say. Dazzle didn't die. He did make it back to the well, but
this is looking bad for Empire. This could be their first loss in like 3-4 weeks' time in competitive Dota.
Yeah, and what's almost scarier here is not even that Next.kz have been so aggressive and knocked down these towers, but against the team with the Lycan, they've only been able to kill 1 tower at the top lane. That's it. Lycan has had no room to push, and Next.kz have just been on point with defending these towers, and kind of a case of the best defense is just a good offense, and they have been non-stop aggressive since they got those Blink Daggers up.
Yeah. Well, looks like Empire going to go through the enemy jungle here, trying to find some more pickoffs. This Centaur is so low.
Reeves is in some trouble, yeah. Buddy. Just waiting to initiate. There's the Dream Coil, waning Rift.
No way to TP out with a Dazzle there as well.
See you later. So they find a recovery kill, but still, just a kill on the Shadow.
That was just silly of Shadow Shaman too. He shouldn't have been there. He should have gone for a Blink TP long ago. But getting a bit greedy.
Scepter, not too far off the mark, just about 250 till he can grab that Blade of Alacrity, so that will be big for Empire. That's actually a huge item on Brew, one of the better Ags upgrades in the game. So perhaps they can use that to start turning the tides, but...
It comes also when he's about to hit level 16, so that'll also upgrade his
score. He's about to get soloed down by Stalcat, and he will before he can even use the Shallow Grave. Full rotation from Centaur with the Stampede as well. Just easy peasy.
Yeah, oh dear. Empire down 3 kills, but it's far worse than that. The gold difference 12k all of a sudden. Next.kz can keep on finding these pickups. They've taken all the outer towers, and they haven't got the best lineup for going high ground, considering Empire's actual teamfight initiation. Like, they initiate with a Blink Brewmaster ultimate or a Blink Puck initiation. Like, Next.kz are in trouble. So I think Next.kz will just keep split pushing the map, farm the enemy jungle, take pickoffs when they can get them, but they're not going to try push high ground until another like 5-10 minutes, when maybe even when they have the next Aegis.
Yeah, definitely won't be a while until the next Roche, but their next round of items are starting to come online. Level 3 Necro Book up on the Nature's Prophet. We see the Shiva's just now getting completed on Stallcat. And Shadow Fiend, he is damn close to having his Mantas. Just a few more creep kills. Looks like we could see initiation on the Shadow Shaman once again. Beautiful wards. They block in the Lycan. I don't know if it'll be enough to keep him alive as Puck blinks forward. They force out the Dream Coil. He still falls, but
he ends up feeding himself and Serpent Wards, and then he gets dewarded, so... Yeah. End result, very bad for Next.kz. It almost looked good.
Yeah, oh, that's a good... Almost looked good, but...
He had the right idea, blinking to the high ground, exactly at the camp where Lycan was, but the dire side, they hadn't observed Wood themselves. That was the problem. They saw him on the low ground, they saw it coming, and they punish him for it.
Yeah, well done by Empire. There is the Ags on Brewmaster, and like you said, close to that level 16
bottom
mark.
lane, they've gone in on Visage here. Always on the fly. Could be in a bit of trouble here.
Could be. He is in some trouble, and...
Right. Yep. Mantis has his Scythe of Vice now if he wants to purchase it, which I don't see any reason not to, and...
Radiant's middle tower is
Could want to pool for buyback perhaps before he purchases that big ticket item. But yeah, that is really scary. The Scythe of Vice very well timed on the Nature's Prophet. Empire pressing forward. They will do heavy damage to this tier 1 tower mid, but the glyph is available, and Next.kz will make a hold. Going forward from the Centaur, stun off the mark. Shadow Shaman blinks and does turn Resolution into a chicken. There we go. Ultimate pop with that Ag Scepter. They'll do some damage to the Centaur. They will have enough to finish him off, I think. Perhaps not. What a fucking coming in. BKB, Requiem of Souls. Doesn't do all that much. Vanscore will be forced to use the Grave on himself. We see another fight kind of breaking out
down.
here.
He couldn't TP out, unfortunately.
Yeah, Shadow Fiend did... no, pardon me. Vanscore fell, and now we see the Shadow Shaman getting chased down by the Familiars. They'll finish him off as Puck blinks forward. Stallcat maybe not out of the clear quite yet. Back over here to his buddy. This is still another one of these odd fights that's working out kind of into two. Silent will use the ultimate. Does have the Quelling Blade to cut through the Sprout, and he will survive. So it ends as just a 1-for-1 Shadow Shaman for Dazzle after all that.
Yeah, both teams have just really strong mobility in these fights, and like you look at Empire with the Blink Daggers, with Puck as well as Lycan, they're always going for the backlines. They don't want to go on the Centaur who's in the front, the SF who's got BKB. They're trying to find the Squishier, the Shadow Shaman, even the Enchantress to some extent, the Nature's Prophet also. They're going to ignore the front lines, which is where we see these very split up fights. So unfortunately for Dazzle, he's like caught out in the front, can't even get to his team, ends up having to grave himself, goes down anyways. But in general, this is the kind of fight where Empire can just stall the game, slow down the pace, farm their next couple big items, and one of those is going to be the Puck Hex. So Mag's got a Hex, same time as the Prophet does, but for Empire I feel like this Hex is going to mean quite a lot, because it does give them a great initiation tool if they want to try and go ganking. Yeah, and for Next.kz, Scythe of Ice is never a bad thing, but they already have a strong initiation with the Hex on Shadow Shaman with his Blink Dagger, so Scythe of Ice will help, but they already have that tool. I think you're right on the money with that one, my friend. And thought I saw another big item pickup. No, Visage is very close to his Ancient. Silent. Yeah, he'll take the skull right here, turning him into a piggy. Yeah, that Radiant Ward, they knew he was there from the Secret Shot Ward. Now there's going to be counter instead. Here comes your Puck. But the Hex on, what a fuck, and he may just take a fall here. Gets the BKB up, doesn't have Requiem for a couple of seconds. He's not going to go for a blind up. The Grave keep the life resolution. The Puck barely staying alive. The SM does end up going down. Puck still alive for now and kicking. Vision takes a fall now. Goes on Mantis and getting all down. Mag gonna block his way there. The Sprout not gonna matter. 2 for 2 so far. Brewmaster, the Primal Split, searching for a new target here. It's gonna be equal on the Enchantress. He's on the run now. Like an ulti form about to wear off, I believe. Mag still chasing. He's got the Howl damage, everything over to the high ground. Equal now. He's got nowhere to run. He's got nowhere to hide. No TP, no way out. A third Next.kz loss is going to go the way of the Puck. Mag gets the last hit.
Yeah, so all that, it is a 2 for 3 going the way of Empire, but what's different is they only lost their support, and they got kills on a couple of those high-value targets. The Shadow Fiend and the Nature's Prophet in particular. Now Stallcat, he's in some trouble. Mag hops forward, uses the Hex, but boy, this is one tanky mother right here. Stunned from the Visage Familiars, and Silent joining the fray as well. He'll go ahead and use the Shapeshift. I think they'll be able to finish off Stallcat here. He is cancel casting that Hoof Stomp. He does get it off. Just a couple of hit points to spare. Reeves coming in.
He may look for a stun into the tower. He may go balls deep. He's going to Stampede. He's going to ball. Pops it a bit too late.
And yeah, Reeves will fall. Blink forward. This is very risky. Mag might be able to turn this around on him.
He could blink Hex, but he doesn't want to die himself.
So, okay, they keep the Centaur alive, but a kill comes out on the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
So at least they grab another one, and this will translate to another tower kill. Empire with a pretty big surge of momentum following that fight. We see the Gold League kind of plateauing, and will take a dip down in favor of Empire. Experience lead now only 5,000. Empire are just right back in it here, gods.
This is what Empire do. Like during this big win streak, they had few games where they'll fall behind by quite a big margin, but somehow they just make some great mid to late game decision making and turn the game around on its head, even against tough teams. The Next.kz definitely not a team to be underrated, and they're playing well here, but Empire just making slightly better decisions.
And oh wow, a big hoof stomp coming out from Skullcat to start things off in this fight. Resolution taking heavy damage, but there's the ultimate. Mag taking damage as well. The tower does fall, denied by the Centaur. What a fucking big trouble. He falls thanks to the Hex, and I think they'll be able to grab the kill. The Centaur here as well. He's stuck in the middle of the fight. Shadow Fiend will actually buy back. Vanscore preemptively using the Grave. Equal in some trouble. He'll fall. Vanscore will still get picked off around the backside. Shadow Fiend buying back, coming in, and Requiem connects with Resolution right as he goes back to bear form after the ultimate expires. Silent in some trouble as well as the roster wards come, and he gets crowd controlled down by that shackle shot. Empire just get cleaned up. The buyback from Shadow Fiend, well worth it.
Yeah, it pays off there that time around. The Requiem only had like 15 souls or something, but they just had so much damage output with the ability to chase people down with the proper TP. Now he TP's mid. He wants to get this tier 3 tower. Puck's coming in already. He TP'd home, the only survivor. Luckily they had a survivor, and this tier 3 tower already gets down to about 1k HP, and here come the rest of the Next.kz.
Brew buys back as well. The rest of the team responding relatively soon. Lycan actually burned his buyback a little while ago. He's still on cooldown for 3 minutes, and he will be down for 60 seconds. The glyph comes out, and this will be a hard defend for Empire right here. I think their racks are in big trouble.
I think Next.kz only going to get the tower, if that. Like, with the weave on themselves, they're going to lose all their armor here. They realize that there's 4 heroes alive, even without Lycan. They don't want to really overextend here, throw away too many kills, so
yeah,
they
you're
back
right.
off, play it safe.
I definitely his ability to make a hold right
it's
there.
It's scary pushing into the puck just because he can initiate on someone with a Hex, and that includes your Shadow Fiend, who could just instantly die. 1700 HP. Not enough to survive like a full 4-man onslaught onto himself with a Hex, Waning Rift Orb, Soul Assumptions, Blink Clap from Brewmaster. There's enough damage to bring him down.
Yeah. The only reason I was thinking Next.kz could push the issue there is Brew's ult was still stuck on cooldown. It was coming up in about 15 seconds. I think they could have committed at least to the tower. But, yeah, one of those, you know it's coming up soon. So they do play it safe. You can't really fault them for that. And most importantly, they force Brew to buy back. So that's one of those with the recent changes to buyback. We're semi-recent, 6.79. If you can just put enough pressure on to make them buy back and then not commit to a fight, that's sometimes a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. And now Roshan going to respawn. Next.kz already scouted out, so they know it's up there. Imagine Empire will be looking to scout it fairly soon. No pings coming out just yet from them, but they've got Lycan Wolves and many other tools that they can use to figure out what's going on.
Yeah. And
they smoke under a dire ward here.
Very unfortunate.
Less than ideal.
Yeah. I mean, he's at level 16, and he goes ahead and grabs an Ag Scepter, so that gives you some extra ward damage here.
These are your level 3 wards with Aghanim's upgrades.
Look at how quickly Roche dies.
That's probably a good 60% of the damage on Roche was the Serpent wards.
As what a fucker on the Shadow Fiend is the one to pick up the Aegis. You know, I've heard some. I think Fogged is the one in particular that was saying that Ags on Rasta is just not good. You're better off going straight for a Refresher. It ends up giving you more damage in the end than going for the Ags.
It's you have mana problems with the Refresher. Like you look at what level 3 ulti costs you 600 mana. Refresher costs you like another 375, and you don't have the mana. The maths does not work. You don't have the mana to sustain it.
Yeah.
Maybe you can use double wards plus Refresher, but you get no hexes, no shackles, and those are almost skills which are just as important as your Serpent wards. Late game hex is huge. Not many heroes have a hex. That's why everyone wants to build a Sight of Ice. But so I think it's not a good use of your mana in general. But I think there's a good argument towards not going Aghanim Scepter, instead getting utility items like Force Staff, Yule Scepter, BKB even. If you think you need those items, but at this time it's pretty good. Like, there's no real need for a BKB, and taking it with the Aghanim Scepter I kind of like.
One of those things that I always think of whenever I see an Ag Scepter picked up on Shadow Shaman. We're going to see some initiation up top. Stampede used to initiate, and they will hop forward. Mag, the target of choice. Puck stuck inside the shackles. A pretty big Requiem flies, and Puck gets picked off. The Shadow Shaman does die to the Wrath of the Lycan, though. Now the rest of this fight will break out, doing a lot of damage to the Shadow Fiend. That'll pop the Aegis. Puck will actually buy back to get back into this fight, but there's just no tower to port to. He's on his way, but nowhere close. Brewmaster ult already been used, and there's the reinitiation from StarLadder. Catches two of the hook stomp, uses the double edge as well, and takes a fair bit of damage in return. Empire holding their own in this fight. Vanscore still alive, doing a lot of sustain as well as a lot of physical damage. They'll finish off the Enchantress and the Shadow Fiend as well. StarLadder could possibly be in some trouble. He is the lone survivor here, and Empire with just an amazing team fight. StarLadder tries to port out. Will they have the interrupt? No, he will make it out.
Oh boy.
That's a 3-for-1.
They engaged from just too far out. Like, they popped the Stampede, chased a bunch, and had to blink. Like, if you have to use Blink and Stampede to get in, then you're committed. You're so committed that Empire, as long as they hold their ground, they can buy back on the puck, they turn the fight around. You only want to use either your Blinks or your Stampede to get in. You kind of need to save something. I think ideally they initiate with the Blinks and then have the Stampede to use mid-fight to run away from, like, the Primal Split Warriors. And also the Shadow Shaman, he just went, like, YOLO mode there. He blinked into Hex and Shackle and then just instantly died. That's why he almost... If you want to do that, you need to go for a BKB.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
His head with that fight.
And that was one of the reasons that Empire was so able to take that fight so convincingly, is because Roster Wars never came out, and they're a huge source of damage for Next.kz. And in these last few team fights, they've been absolutely huge in doing a lot of damage. So, and you can't forget, in an area like that, the Roster Wards do splash damage. Most people know it, but it's something that we usually overlook with the amount of damage they do. So in a very, like, grouped up team fight, as we saw right there, the Roster Wards really would have done a lot. We see the Visage Familiars actually kind of getting picked off here. Only one of them survives, but... still showing us that they're still in this game. That was a fight with Aegis and Cheese, both of which were burned, and Empire still came out ahead.
Yeah. Wow. It's been a solid 12k gold lead for some time for Next.kz, but the fact that it hasn't increased shows that Empire are holding their own. They've still got Raxus standing, so from their point of view, they're still well in this game. And sure, they haven't got, like, the best late game scaling, but they've still got good team fight, even good late game team fight. They just haven't got that true late game carry. Lycan does alright carrying late game. He has obviously gone for the standard Necrobook build, but your heroes like Puck, Brewmaster, not really late game heroes. And that's the one hero I especially worry for is Brewmaster. Like, his Aghanim's upgraded ultimate will kind of just it tampers off a bit, and it doesn't actually stay as strong as you want it to be.
Oh, what a fucker. He's in big trouble. Puck pops forward. Does he use the Hex? But yes, Anthony comes out. That provides Shadow Fiend a little bit of time. Roster Wards fly. It looks like Roster will be the target of choice. Shadow Fiend didn't survive the initial onslaught, and the wards are down, but I don't think the fight is going to continue in this position and won't do too much damage. StarLadder, he takes a stun as well. A very chaotic fight where Next.kz are just so spread out right now, looking for a way to reinitiate this. Equal actually taking a lot of damage from the Familiars, and that's enough to zone her out. It will end as just a 1-for-0, and they waste another Rasta cooldown. So although Next.kz aren't grouped up enough to do any damage and secure a kill, they will avoid death, and oh, here we go. They'll finally find their opening. They catch Silent with his ultimate down inside of the Sprout.
It looks like he used the Quelling Blade on the wrong tree, because he had Quelling Blade at something there, but he didn't get out of the Sprout in. Pick off for Next.kz.
Yeah,
no buyback.
Shaman. Yeah. Not ideal.
And he's got no buyback, so it looks like they actually want to go for this push at bottom lane. We've got Enchantress nearby, who's going to come with a heal if they want to heal up a little bit. Looks like they'll swing towards the Ancients. Clear this, but yeah, 50 seconds with no Lycan. Primal Split is up in about 35, though.
I think that they can hold this, especially knowing the Rasta wards are on cooldown for 45 seconds, right around the same time Lycan comes up. If they had Rasta here with wards ready to go, they could definitely do some crippling damage to the base, but without the wards, this will be a difficult push, and Next.kz won't even go for it.
Yeah, I don't think they need to. Mantis now with a ton of gold as well. He's sitting on 6.6k, level 24. That's another big item for him, which I imagine will be some kind of DPS. Mjolnir's always fantastic. Otherwise, you go for the Daedalus. I imagine it's going to be one of these two as his last item.
He makes a lot of sense here as well. Also, just an interesting stat. This Centaur has yet to die. StarLadder is 11, 0, and 12. So when they shut him down, that'll be a nice 1,300 gold bounty going the way of Empire.
It will, but at this stage of the game, like that's a lot of money. But like it's not like it's going to some key carry hero. It's
true.
That's something like if you get 20, 25 minutes in, fantastic. But
StarLadder just having a hell of a game here. He's been all over the place.
I think that's the big story there. StarLadder's just been a beast.
It looks like he'll be working towards a halberd as well. Talisman of Evasion. Butterfly, not a very common item on Centaur. I think the halberd definitely makes a lot more sense. And just always good, especially against the Lycan. That disarm is very powerful.
And Prophet's got his next time. It's going to be an MKB. That's it. I say Daedalus from Mjolnir against the evasion of Brewmaster. His evasion and also the Drunken Haze. This is actually going to be a better choice than the Daedalus or the Mjolnir.
And Resolution, he's got 3,600 gold in savings on that Brewmaster, and he's yet to pick up anything since the Ag Scepter. So we've seen very little item progression on this hero, and all in all, Resolution's been a little bit lackluster this game. He got shut down a bit in the mid lane, and his net worth, he's only at 11, 12k right now, and he's lowest except for the supports right now. So he's at he's either the best of the worst or the worst of the best, depending on how you want to look at it. But, you know, compared to who he was up against solo mid, Shadow Fiend is up to about 18k on net worth, so still way ahead of him in terms of farm, and we see that reflected pretty vividly in the inventories.
Yeah, this Brewmaster pick has just not really panned out well for Empire. It's been pretty low impact, hasn't won them that many fights, and has kind of struggled to really do a whole lot. So Resolution, I'm not sure what he goes next. Maybe a Shiver's Guard. They've already got the Vlad's is nice, except they've already got one, so it's not really needed. But Shiver's Guard, maybe Assault Cuirass, maybe BKB as well, just so you don't get disabled, and make sure you can actually get off your ulti, because then you can actually make sure you clap, you Drunken Haze, and then you go in. But he's going Perseverance, so this is either Lincoln's or Refresher.
I mean, Refresher Brew is definitely pretty potent, but it's not sure if it's...
The later this game goes, like the Primal Split Warriors just die to the right click of Prophet and SF, so this may just be a Lincoln, but we'll see.
Lincoln's doesn't do anything for you when you're in the ultimate form, correct?
It's just so you don't get like jumped by a Shadow Shaman or a Prophet Hex.
I don't know about the Lincolns here. I mean, he may still go for it, but it just seems like one of those, if you're forced to grab that at the 42-minute mark on your Brewmaster, that's probably a sign that you're not really in great shape anyhow.
And he's probably thinking Refresher here. Like, his ulti's already looking weaker and weaker as this game goes on.
Yeah, Brew is a very... I just look at him as a very snowball hero. When you have a slow start, he's not a good play-from-behind hero. He's exceptionally good if he gets an early kill and kind of gets like, if the roles were reversed, Shadow Fiend was at 11k and he was at 18k, this would be... You'd be looking at Brew just being like, oh my god, this hero's amazing. But once he's a little bit behind, things get a bit more difficult. Mag hops forward, he does grab this Illusion Rune, and Stallcat trying to capitalize on Puck's overextension, but will get hexed, and Puck walks away. So almost a close call here at the bottom rune.
Yep.
That's it, Stallcat. Being a little cheeky there on the illusions.
And now SF picks up his Butterfly, so he's pretty much ready to fight, ready to go. He doesn't have life still yet. Probably the last item he's going to pick up is a Satanic. May drop his Blink Dagger for that one because, well, he doesn't need to right now. He's got the slot, but he'll want to have an Aegis. And I think that's what Next.kz are waiting for. The next Roshan, Aegis and Cheese, then they'll be ready to take another fight. Because last fight with Aegis and Cheese didn't go so well, but now they've got a couple more big items. Prophet MKB, SF Butterfly, Centaur with a Halberd, and they're a lot stronger than they were before. I think this is even an Aghanims for now. It's drums. 43-minute drums. Why not? It's an aura they're missing. Like, that's a 10% attack and the movement speed especially. Like, use it after Stampede wears off. That movement speed can help a lot. Yeah, there's actually no drum on Empire either, which is kind of interesting. A drum is just a very cost-efficient item that a lot of people... Yeah. It's very uncommon to see a game with absolutely no drums, and probably even less common to see the first drums come out at 45 minutes. But, yeah, Next.kz will just wait out around Roche. They know it could be coming up any moment now, and they'll have to wait around for another 30 seconds, but I think it will be well worth the wait. Empire trying to scout it out with the Familiars, doing a good job. But you're going to lose Familiars. At this stage of the game, you'll lose Familiars here and there, just to make sure you get some vision. And right now, just getting that scouting information is worth losing 100 gold if you have to. Yep. Opening here. There's the refresher on Brew, yeah, so... Better make sure he gets it off, otherwise he's just spent 5k plus gold on an item which he may not even get to use. Yeah, and it does work pretty well on Brew because his ultimate is pretty low mana cost. Level 3, it's only 175 mana, so he actually does have enough mana to sustain ultimate, refresher, ultimate again, and then still use a Thunderclap and a Drunken Haze here and there. So it is an item that works, but Drunken Haze is only 50 mana, a surprisingly mana-efficient spell. But here we go, roster wards come down, and Roche will get melted if Empire want to contest. They need to do it basically now. Familiars are in the pit, they're scouting it out, and that's it. They won't get there in time. And what's going on, but he kind of messed up that one. But so who got the cheese here? It is the Centaur, and once again, Aegis goes to the Shadow Fiend. As standard stuff here. And SF, he's going to have buyback soon. He's pretty much got all the items he needs. I mean, I mentioned maybe dropping the Blink Dagger for a Satanic, but that's kind of only if this game goes another 10 plus minutes. If they don't end the game with this cheese and Aegis, or at least don't get Raxes, then he's going to start thinking about getting one more big item.
Yeah.
But for now, things looking pretty good. Mantis going to keep on farming as well. He wants to have buyback for the next fight. That's the big thing for a Prophet in the late game. Pushing to try and end the game situation. You can throw away your life if it means you get a kill, you get a tower, because then you can instantly buy back TPN.
Yeah, now Lycan has 4,000 gold in savings. I imagine he wants to grab an Abyssal, but he also needs to be saving for buyback at this point. And Mag did grab the Shiva's Guard. So we were talking about a Shiva's could be good, and it will be Puck to grab it.
He's got no buyback, though. That's a
device.
Like, that's a big thing, your Puck not having buyback at this stage. So he's not careful. He's going to be very, very careful with his actual initiation timer. He doesn't want to go in and get caught out by one of these hexes.
And wow, Mantis will go ahead and grab himself a Daedalus.
Yeah, that's big.
That's scary. They're at the point where this Nature's Prophet is just so farmed, which is good for Next.kz, but also a little bit scary. If Empire focus him down and they're able to get a kill on him or pick him off, he does a lot of damage, and he's tanky-ish.
He's got buyback. That's the big thing.
Yes, that's true. Good point.
So he'll have a second life and can come back to the fight, assuming Next.kz don't just straight up lose the fight in the first engagement. But worst case scenario for Next.kz, they lose a team fight, but they've all got buybacks. They can reset. There's no way Empire will win the game off of a failed push. It will just reset back to that stalemate scenario where Next.kz are waiting for the next Roshan, Empire just trying to farm a few more items. Empire winning a fight is, unless the only way Empire win a game off is if Next.kz buy back TPN and die again. But that's
that would
hopefully unlikely to happen.
Yes, that would be silly. That would make this into a pretty big throw. And there's about a 20,000 gold lead now, 10,000 experience. Next.kz still in great shape. A lot of buybacks available, at least on the core heroes that need it. The big one is Puck. Brewmaster is pretty close to having enough, but this is that point where you really need a lot of gold for buyback. Brewmaster's is over 2,000 gold to get back into the game, which is just a lot of money to have.
Yeah. Quickly ready.
One.
Yep. 47 minutes in.
Right on the same.
Whew, alrighty.
Great minds think alike here, gods. Both like, wow, this game is... What a game. It'd be pretty big if Next.kz can actually stop this streak of dominance from Empire. This will be the big upset of StarLadder that we've been waiting for, that Power Rangers have previously done, and as we saw earlier today, they were not successful this time around shutting down Alliance, but... Blinks come, and now Brew blinks back to safety straight away. Well done. Engage there. And also, Empire don't have their tier 3 in the mid lane.
That's
which
true.
is also big. I kind of forgot that fell. It happened a long time ago.
It's big in the sense that it makes it easy to get these Raxes, but losing a set of Raxes at this stage of the game is not going to decide the outcome necessarily.
Very true.
50 minutes in, they can deal with these main creeps fairly well. They haven't actually got the best carry.
Oh, and roster wards come down just straight away. Do some damage.
Dead Raxes. They're just going to let the melee go as well, I imagine.
Yeah.
There's nothing they can really do to stop this. Maybe they could go in. There's going to be a Blink stun, catches up too. No follow-up though. That just secures the Raxes, like make it so they have to back off and Prophet's at bottom lane. That's actually the big problem. If they lose 2 sets of Raxes, that is a big deal at this stage of the game.
Yeah, and oh wow, Puck actually whiffs the Dream Coil onto Nature's Prophet. That's really bad. Not have buyback.
Prophet TP's top. The Rat Dota's just kicking in now.
And Prophet's so stacked at this point. He hits for over 400 in auto attack. He doesn't have a Desolator, but he can drop these towers pretty darn fast.
Yeah, so they don't even care about taking a team fight. They'll wait for the next Surf Lord before they try and commit to another Rax, but until then they'll just chip away Prophet TP's top, bottom. Just gonna run around, be the puppeteer for Empire, who just are kind of powerless right now to deal with this. And
yeah, they're really in big trouble. Next.kz are at that point where they have one lane of Rax down, they know the Glyph is down, they can just be very patient, like you said, wait for the roster wards, put those in one lane, Nature's Prophet in the other, and Empire, frankly, just don't have the tools to do that. If Empire can take a 5v5 fight outside of the base, then I think they could potentially win a fight, but they don't have the resources to take that kind of double fight, one for the Nature's Prophet and then one to deal with the roster wards as well. They will move out of the base here, though.
Found Prophet.
They'll catch Mantis, and will they have enough to finish him off?
They won't. The Stampede can keep him alive for a bit longer. The Blink stun from Stalcat, knocking him out of the BKB from Lycan, helping things out. It's 2 kills here, immediate buyback from Prophet. Where's he actually TPing? He's TPing back into the fight. I don't know if they can find too much. Yeah, they're going to find Mag. That's the Puck, and he's got no buyback.
So, and Shaman will buy back as well. Another fight breaking out. Silent in big trouble as Whatafaka catches him on the retreat. That'll be a kill, and now Empire are in big trouble.
Lycan shot buyback as well. This is game over.
Yeah, that's game. This is 90 seconds with their 2 core heroes down.
There's no way they hold it. The only thing they can do is stall. They've got double prime. That's the thing. They farm this refresh on Brewmaster, and you won't even get a chance to use it, except in a 3v5 scenario with the game already lost. Like, this is we're not going to say the act was bad. Those two teammates getting caught out. We're going to see Vincere get jumped on as well. They lose him. Dazzle's going to take a fall maybe as well if he's not careful. He's hexed up. He's brought down as well. 4 for nothing, and well... They just have to run, because if he dies, if he loses them all, he's dead.
And they're not even going to go
He's
for the
going to lose his
lane.
last one. Gets the double crit. Brewmaster goes down. Rax is good. Rax's towers. GG's called. Empire's 20-plus game win streak has come to an end, Andrew.
Wow. Well, that was a bit unexpected. Next.kz just played well on that